Now, if I was starting over the job search in 2026, these are the things that I would make sure I took time to do. Now, first, if I were dropped into the job market right now, with no roadmap, no guarantees, and a whole lot of noise, how would I actually be finding a job that isn't going to burn me out in the next 2 years? Because here's the thing, job searching right now feels a lot like Skyrim or any other difficult video game on survival mode. There's no instructions, you have conflicting advice, and everyone swears that their path is the right one. And that's why I'm using the Skyrim gameplay while we talk about this, because careers are going to work very similarly. You don't pick one quest and magically win. In some cases you do, but in most cases you're making decisions, you're adapting, and sometimes you're realizing that you're on the wrong path after you've already invested time into it. Today I'm going to be walking you through exactly how I would be finding a job in 2026, starting with questions that most people skip, and how industrial and organizational psychology explains why skipping them is going to keep you stuck. Now, before we even talk about resumes or interviews, we need to get honest about the environment. Entry-level jobs aren't entry-level. AI is filtering out good candidates. Recorded interviews remove any human connection. And companies are optimizing for risk avoidance instead of potential. From an IO psychology perspective, this creates low perceived control, which is going to increase anxiety and overall decision paralysis. When people feel powerless, they apply blindly, and that's how you end up in jobs that don't align with your life at all. So instead of asking what jobs are hiring, we need to start with better questions. Most people are going to answer this with job titles. Now that's the first mistake, because you need to understand what are you looking for from your next job. Excuse me. From an IO psychology standpoint, job satisfaction comes from needs fulfillment, not titles. You need to be asking yourself, do I need stability or flexibility right now? Do I want mastery or momentum? Do I want autonomy or structure? Think of this like choosing a build. You don't just say, I want to be a warrior. You decide between heavy armor and light armor, two-handed weapons or using a shield, stealth or brute force. If you don't define what your job needs to give you, you'll accept whatever looks impressive, and likely hate it 6 months later. Now another question you need to be answering. What did my last job give me that I really liked? Now don't just say, I liked the people or I liked the pay. You need to break it down. Did you like clear expectations, being left alone to do your work, quick feedback, or feeling useful? In IO psychology, this is called task significance, and it lends itself to the job characteristics theory, which brings up the points that certain job elements will consistently drive motivation. If your last job gave you any of these, that's not accidental, that's data. Now, careers aren't about starting over, they're about doubling down on what already worked. Another question to answer. On the flip side, what did I dislike about my last job? Because this is going to matter a lot more than people think. Because burnout isn't caused by working too hard. It's caused by misalignment. You need to ask yourself, was I micromanaged? Was everything urgent, but nothing was meaningful? Did my effort go unnoticed? IO psychology shows that low control and high demand is the fastest path to disengagement. If you don't name what drained you, you'll accidentally recreate it in your next role, just likely with a slightly better title. Now, what would I change about my career if I could? This is similar to choosing a new quest line, and it's where most people get uncomfortable, because it's going to force honesty. Do you need to change the pace, the power dynamics, the long-term ceiling? Because here's the truth. Most people aren't stuck because they chose the wrong career. They're stuck because they never gave themselves permission to pivot. In IO psychology, we call this career entrenchment. It's about staying because you've already invested time, but not because it fits. Time invested should never be a reason to stay. Alignment should be that reason. Now, the next question to consider: what matters most in the next 2 to 3 years? Now, this question is everything, and almost no one asks it, because the next 2 to 3 years are about constraints, not dreams. Do you need income stability, skill development, energy preservation, time freedom? From a business lens, this is about career stage fit, because the best job depends on when you're taking it. Because a job that's perfect at 35 might be terrible at 28, and vice versa. Similar to the previous question, what do you want in 5 years? Because 5 years isn't a fantasy, it's your current trajectory. You're not picking a destination, you're picking a direction. You need to be asking, what skills do I want to leverage from? What kind of problems do I want to solve? And do I want to be an expert or a generalist in my area? Because careers compound like skill trees. Random points aren't going to build your power. Intentional ones do. Now keep moving the timeline forward. What do you want in 10 years? Because 10 years isn't about titles. It's now about your life's design and your career's design. How do you want your days to feel in 10 years? How much control do you want over those days and that schedule? And what trade-offs are you willing to accept? Business psychology shows that values alignment predict long-term satisfaction more than salary does, because no job is worth winning if it costs you the life that you actually want. Now, look at the jobs you're considering right now and wonder, are they actually aligned with those values? Because this is where most people are going to lie to themselves. Just because a job is available doesn't mean it's the right choice. Does that job build skills that you're going to want later on? Is it going to move you closer to your eventual goals, or is it just going to keep you busy? A job can be good, but still be wrong. Now, how do you course correct without burning everything down? This is just like saving your game or doing a quick fast travel, because course correction doesn't mean quitting tomorrow. It means strategic building of skills. It means targeting your applications. It means saying no to roles that repeat old mistakes. IO psychology calls this adaptive career behavior. These are small intentional moves that are going to change long-term outcomes. You don't need to have a perfect plan. You just need to have a direction that's going to make sense. Now, finding a job in 2026 isn't about gaming the system harder. It's about knowing yourself better than the system does. Similar to gaming, there's no single right path, but there is a wrong one, the one you didn't choose consciously. Now, I know I covered a lot of information in this, and if it helped you think differently about your career, please hit like, consider subscribing, and let me know where you're at right now. We'll figure out that next quest together, and as always, I hope you can be well.